The middle class is not safe. It never was. In fact, statistically, financially, psychologically, the middle class is the most dangerous place a person can spend their entire life. And almost no one realizes it. Until it is too late. Here's what they told you. Go to school, get a good job, buy a house, work hard, retire. And you did everything right. So why does it still feel like you are one emergency away from crisis? Why does your paycheck disappear before the month does? Why, despite doing everything you were told, does wealth still feel impossibly far away? Because the system you were told to follow was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to keep you comfortable enough to stay. And comfortable enough to stay is the most financially dangerous position there is. This video is about why, and what to do about it. The illusion of stability. Let me describe someone you probably know. Good job, decent salary, a house with a mortgage, 2 cars, a family, health insurance, a 401k they rarely check. From the outside, they look stable. From the inside, they are 30 days away from financial disaster if their job disappears. That is not stability. That is the illusion of stability. And the middle class is built on it. Here's the trap. A salary feels like security. But a salary is the most fragile form of income that exists. One company decision, one economic downturn, one health crisis, and the salary is gone. The mortgage still isn't. The car payments still aren't. The bills don't stop. The poor understand this reality every single day. They feel it constantly. The wealthy have built systems that don't depend on one source. Investments, business income, assets that generate money while they sleep. But the middle class? They live in a dangerous middle. Comfortable enough not to feel urgency. Trapped enough to never truly break free. Comfort is the enemy of change, and the middle class is the most comfortable trap ever built. The lifestyle inflation trap, picture this. You get a raise, a real one, $5,000 more a year. You deserve it. You worked hard, so you celebrate. You upgrade your apartment. You get a newer car. The dinners out get a little nicer. The vacations get a little bigger. And a year later, you feel exactly as financially tight as before. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is the silent destroyer of middle-class wealth. Every time income rises, expenses rise to match it, sometimes to exceed it. The lifestyle expands. The savings don't. The investments don't. The assets don't. Just the spending. Here is why this happens. We are wired to compare ourselves to the people around us. And the people around us, our co-workers, our neighbors, our social media feeds, are all doing the exact same thing. Upgrading, expanding, performing success. So we match them, because falling behind feels like failure. But here is what that behavior actually looks like on paper. You earn more every year. Your net worth barely moves. More income. Same financial position, year after year. It is not about how much you make. It is about the gap between what you earn and what you keep. Lifestyle inflation collapses that gap, silently, consistently, forever. The debt prison. The average American household carries over $90,000 in debt. Let that sit for a second. $90,000. Mortgage, car loans, credit cards, student loans. Each one felt like a reasonable decision at the time. The house was an investment. The car was necessary. The degree was the path forward. But here is what nobody showed you on the brochure. Debt is not just money you owe. Debt is future labor you have already sold. Every payment you make on that mortgage is hours of your life, you already worked paying for something that is slowly deteriorating. Every car payment is income you already earned going to a vehicle that is worth less every single month. The poor are in debt because they have no choice. The wealthy use specific, strategic debt to build more wealth. The middle class uses debt to maintain a lifestyle, to look the part, to feel the part. And every month, 30, 40, 50% of their income goes straight to servicing that debt before they have spent a single dollar on building their actual future. You are not building a life, you are renting one, on credit. At interest, every dollar in debt payments is a dollar that cannot compound, cannot invest, cannot build. The middle-class debt cycle is not a path to stability. It is a treadmill dressed up as progress. We are halfway through, and the next section is the one that most people never have explained to them clearly. What assets actually are, and why most of the middle class has almost none. Keep watching. No asset ownership. Income is not wealth. Here is a question most people have never been asked. If you stopped working tomorrow, completely stopped, how long could you survive? A month? 3 months? A year? For most middle-class households, the honest answer is 2 to 3 months, maybe less. And this reveals the most dangerous misconception the middle class carries. They believe income equals wealth. It does not. Income is a tap. Turn it off and everything stops. Wealth is a reservoir. It holds what you have built. It keeps generating even when the tap is off. The wealthy think in assets, stocks that pay dividends, real estate that generates rent, businesses that produce income without requiring their daily presence, index funds that quietly compound year after year. The middle class thinks in salary. Salary is not an asset. Your salary is the product of your time. And your time is the one resource you cannot buy more of. Here's the math that nobody teaches you. A $100,000 salary, fully spent every year, builds zero wealth. A $60,000 salary, with $15,000 invested annually in appreciating assets, can build millions over a 20-year period. The number on your paycheck is almost irrelevant. The question is, what does your money own? Assets make money while you sleep. A salary makes money while you work. The difference between those two sentences is the difference between financial freedom and financial dependency. The time trap, trading hours for dollars. Forever. Think about the structure of a middle-class life. Wake up, commute, work 8 to 10 hours, commute back, eat, sleep, repeat. 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, for 40 years. That is your life. Traded. 1 hour at a time. For a dollar amount someone else decided you were worth. And the terrifying part is that this arrangement has a ceiling. There are only 24 hours in a day. No matter how hard you work, no matter how much you grind, you cannot create more time. So your income has a hard limit. It is capped by your hours. Wealthy people figured out a long time ago that the goal is not to earn more per hour. The goal is to build things that earn when you are not working, when you are sleeping, when you are on vacation, when you are sick, when you retire. That is the fundamental shift, from trading time for money to building systems that generate money independently of your time. The middle class never makes this shift, not because they are not intelligent enough, but because the model they are living in consumes every hour they have. Work all day to pay for the lifestyle. Rest just enough to work again tomorrow. There is no space, no margin, no time left to build anything different. The middle class works for money. The wealthy build things that work instead of them. That single shift in strategy is worth more than any raise, promotion, or side hustle. The comfort zone mindset. Why the middle class never escapes here is the most uncomfortable truth of this entire video. The middle class stays where it is not because of lack of opportunity, not because of a rigged system, but because of comfort. The middle class has just enough income to cover the bills, just enough security to feel okay, just enough comfort to not feel the urgency to change. And that is the trap. The poor feel urgency every day. Survival demands change. The wealthy feel freedom every day. Their systems are already working. But the middle class feels comfortable. And comfortable is the most dangerous feeling in personal finance. Because it turns off the alarm. It quiets the urgency. It tells you everything is fine. You can change later. Later becomes next year. Next year becomes a decade. A decade becomes a lifetime. And then one day, you wake up at 62 with a small retirement account, a paid-off mortgage you used all your income to keep, and a Social Security check that cannot cover your expenses. And you realize the comfort was the cage. Urgency builds wealth. Comfort preserves the status quo. The middle-class mistake is not choosing the wrong investments. It is never feeling urgency long enough to make a different choice. The way out. What actually changes everything's. What do you do with all of this? The answer is not to panic. It is not to make reckless financial bets overnight. The answer is to change one thing first. The way you see your financial life. Stop measuring success by your income. Start measuring it by your assets. Stop accepting comfort as safety. Start treating comfort as a signal that something needs to change. Stop trading every available hour for a paycheck. Start allocating even a fraction of that time to building something that does not require your hours. These are not dramatic overnight changes. They are small, consistent shifts in mindset that compound over time into a completely different financial life. The middle class is not a life sentence, but it is a slow one if you never notice the walls. Most people spend their entire lives inside a system that was designed to keep them productive and spending, not wealthy, not free, just comfortable enough to stay. Now you have seen the walls. What you do next is entirely up to you. You were not meant to simply maintain a lifestyle. You were meant to build one. The difference between those two things is everything. If this video made you uncomfortable, that discomfort is information. It means something landed. And something that lands is something worth acting on. Drop a comment below and tell me honestly, which of the 6 traps we covered today feels the most real in your own life right now?
I am not here to judge. I am here because this conversation matters and most people are never willing to have it. Subscribe to Wealth Storyline. Every week, we break down the financial traps and mindset shifts that actually change trajectories. Not theory, not inspiration, just the hard, honest, useful truth about money. The next video is already on your screen. I will see you there.